I was talking with someone recently, and just kind of noticing their certain qualities of their life that kind of struck me. That as an example of a lot of what's happening in our Western culture these days, with such an emphasis on individuality, the individual person, the individual being. There's a person who lives alone and has kind of an isolated life, a little bit of social contact, but kind of mostly isolated, and just a real sense of kind of loneliness, isolation, depression, and just reflecting on how that seems to be such a increasingly common problem these days. People kind of in their self-absorbed little pods, walking around plugged into some sort of device or absorbed in the phone in front of them, in their face, and just that kind of growing sense of removal from human contact, human interaction. And just noticing that and reflecting on that. And it's true that liberation is an individual, part of an individual striving. We can't have nobody can do it for us. Our practice is, a lot of it is that kind of internal focus and reflection and individual striving. But to also be aware of that kind of intense self-absorption and lack of input from the world around us that we can get into with that kind of intense self-absorption. We have tendencies towards that anyway, and if we pick up on a style of practice that is without getting much feedback or much interaction from other people, then we can just tend to reinforce any negative habits that we hold through opinions, and just being in this own little pod of ourselves. We tend to follow our defilements, even if we think they're based on wisdom or understanding of teachings. We can get involved with either laziness or over-striving, based on how we view ourselves and what we need. Think, oh well, I need this and I need this, or I can relax, take it easy. I need to loosen up, or I need to tighten up, or I'm not working hard enough on my practice. We get lost in our own world of thoughts and views and opinions, not reflecting much on what's going on around us. But we here, I think we're really fortunate. We've got a very strong community focus to help pull us out of those kind of tendencies towards self-absorption. So living in this community, it's hard to get through a day without having some sort of useful interaction with somebody, even if it's not easy. And it's these kinds of communal activities that we do that help give us a reality check, so that we're not just allowed to absorb into our own little pods, individual pods. So like yesterday, everybody in the community pretty much just took place in this one large project, working together to help do a deep clean on the kitchen, removing everything, cleaning everything, and putting it back together. And there's some tight spaces every now and then. People have to kind of dance around each other, but a sense of one activity that everybody participates in, and we all have to let go of some of our own individual opinions and thoughts and ideas, and look around us and see what needs to be done, and see what other people are doing, and see how other people are doing it, and work with each other and coordinate and interact. And it's a good way to let that sense of individual self-importance help fade away. In that kind of a situation, there's no one person who's at the center of it all. We just work as a unit, let go of these self ideas, selfing ideas, and we're just part of a unit. So that's really something that helps soften the mind and open the mind and pull us out of our self-absorption, and to use the community that we have, use the communal activities, the groups that we get to when we come together and have our meetings and each share what's going on in our lives, taking those opportunities to open up to the fact that we're really maybe not quite as important as we think we are. So offer that for this morning's reflection.